Belle.
Hey, I'm Lynn. We interviewed people from the single subject and multiple subject cohorts, and these are their responses. Go.
Jonathan, what's your routine in the morning?
I like drinking coffee. If the funding is available, I'll get a cappuccino or an Americano. If not, I'll make my own coffee and make a poor man's Americano, which is regular coffee and water.
So what I would do is after a lesson or something, I would walk around to help students and then just secretly go to the back and then have a sip of coffee or take a bite of the donuts or eat breakfast sandwiches and then come back to the front and then teach more and just continue that until I'm done with my coffee.
Okay, what does Jennifer do?
That'd be so sweet. Did I talk about her?
Yeah, talk for her. What does Jennifer do?
Jennifer will wake up, right? Then she opened her closet, dressed in the dark, and then frantically ran down the stairs with her bananas in her hand. And then she drove over to my house and picked me up.
Ooh, perfect. Thank you.
all that in less than 30 minutes.
Say that again.
No.
Alright, so every morning I get up and have a big bowl of cereal.
What kind of cereal?
Depends. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Special K, Honey Nut Cheerios. I just love cereal.
So what are you going to do with the money?
I'm going to take my family out to dinner and then plan a trip to Hawaii.
Once I'm a real teacher, I'm going to Disneyland. I know it sounds cliche and everyone says, oh, what are you going to do with the money? Oh, you should go to Disneyland. Definitely going to Disneyland.
The first thing I'm going to buy with my paycheck is a new car.
I'm going to give part of my paycheck to my parents and use it.
My first paycheck, I'm going to IKEA and I'm buying a whole wall of storage because I already have books and stickers and markers and everything. So I need to lay it all out.
When I first get a job, I'm going to pay off the payments for my new car.
Do I just say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so my first paycheck, I'm going to start saving to go to Antarctica with my husband.
Money. Well, I went shopping already.
What are you going to do with your salary?
I want to save so I can travel around the world.
Do it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, which one are you going to answer?
The teacher teaching, or the salary one.
Okay. What are you going to do with your teaching salary?
So with my salary, I'm going to live big and get my own apartment instead of sharing somebody else.
Okay, so I had this one student, and he was like the Mr. Popular ringleader in my classroom. And every day, pretty much, he would talk about how he hates reading, and every day we had to do silent reading in our class. So I would always make him do it. Sometimes I would even have him sit down and read to me, quietly, while other kids were silent reading. And then one day he pulled me aside and he was like super serious. And he's like, Miss Ewing, I have to tell you something. I'm like, okay, what's that? And he's like, I think I'm actually starting to like reading. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's awesome. That makes me so happy. And like straight face, he's like, no, it's not awesome. Like it was total social suicide, I guess.
Check this out, okay? Okay, so up here, okay, so I was circulating around the classroom, and then a student goes, hey, Miss Ton, look at your calves, they're so big. Can you do a slam dunk?
I had a student who's always very disruptive, so I told him to move seats. And he stands up and looks at me and said, Miss Flores, you're not moving my seat. And he's from Florida, so this is really how he acted. I turned to him and like, if I told you to move your seat, you should move your seat. He's like, Miss Flores, if I move my seat, I'm gonna act a fool. I'm gonna act a straight up fool. You wanna move my seat. And that's the funniest. I started laughing, and he didn't move his seat because I'm laughing.
Okay, so it was like one time after school, and I'm with this kid, he's a first grader, and he goes, Miss Jones, one day in 1982, I was at this baseball game, and it was awesome, Miss Jones. And I was like, a baseball game in 1982? Are you sure you were there? He was like, yeah, it was the most amazing baseball game I've ever seen.
Okay, so it was at the end of a school day, and this third grade boy, Soren, comes up to me. I'm sitting down with my CT, and he says, this is fun. And I go, oh, what's fun, Soren? He goes, school. And we all just started busting.
So, kindergarten placement, summer, lunchtime, on the playground. I walk up to a kid who's been having kind of a hard time in class, and I go, how's your first week going? And he looks at me, and he goes, what's that smell? And I'm like, I start to laugh. I'm like, I don't know, do you smell something? And he goes, it smells like a bug. And then he runs, he bolts off. I'm just standing there like this, like, wow, kindergarten. That's it.
So this kid, an English speaker, comes up to me and he's like, do you have a mama? And I was like, sí. And he's like, do you have a papa? Sí. Oh, you have a familia. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, I have an hermano también. And he's just like, hermano? And he's like, what's that? I'm like, brother. And he's like, oh, I have a sister. She's right over there. And, you know, like, they're twins. I've been in the class for months. Like, I know this. So he just looked at me like I didn't know any of this information. Like,
so in my 3rd grade placement at recess, Diego came up to me and he says, Miss Hertz, I need some information. And I go, okay, Diego, what's your question? And he goes, how do you get closer to a friend who's a girl? And he said, what do I buy her? And all these questions. Like, you don't need to buy her anything. So I asked her, what is she like? And he goes, well, we like playing video games. So I said, how about you play video games but let her win sometimes? And he goes, oh, okay. And I go, so let her win. He goes, oh, so like I win she wins 2 times and I win 1 time? Oh, okay. And I go, so this conversation was the funniest conversation I had, but the teacher in me was like, yes, this kid knows probability and ratio.